Hello, class. Today we are looking at spreadsheets softwares. Spreadsheet softwares. And normally we make mention of what we call electronic spreadsheets. They are the same. Spreadsheet software is just a software or a tool that allows you, the user, to organize numerical data. Here we are talking about entering, calculating, manipulating, and analyzing sets of numbers in a worksheet or a table format. So that is what electronic spreadsheets is or are. There are so many examples of electronic spreadsheets. Among some of them are what we call Microsoft Excel. We have Lotus 1, 2, 3. We have the SuperCalc, VCalc, Microsoft Works, Apple Works, Claris Works, Quattro Pro. This one is from Coral Word Perfect Office. In fact, we have so many of them. And today we are going to look at one of them that I just mentioned called Microsoft Excel. When you launch for Excel, this is the interface. Now, let us look at some of the features of spreadsheet programs, meaning that this Microsoft Excel I have launched also has those features. In Excel, we work in books. Okay, so what you see on my screen is a book. However, in every book, we write on sheets. So beneath here, you can see a sheet. If you want to add more sheets, you just click the plus sign here. You see a sheet has been added, or you click on the first sheet that was there, right click on it, and we have a menu that appears. You can insert. So I'm clicking on insert. It is asking me what I want to do, but I'm inserting a sheet. So I click on OK. You see a sheet has been added. So we work inside the book, but on a sheet. So we say workbook and worksheet. So what then is the worksheet? The worksheet is the data file that you are going to create using the Excel sheets. Again, on my screen, this is the working environment. You see, it looks like the normal spreadsheet program that we use, okay, in terms of our graphing sheets. Look at some unique feature here. We have this, we call it a name box. We have another bar here, we call it the formula bar. We'll make mention of them. Now, if you look on my screen, we have some divisions here, A, B, C. We call them columns. So column A, column B, column C, column D, and the others. So columns are labeled vertically using what we call letters. Now, these ones are also called rows. Rows. So we say rows are also labeled horizontally using numbers. As you type, you realize that some of the text that you type may not be able to accommodate here. So see, we are saying that you can increase what we call the column width. If you want to do that, position the cursor in the middle line between the first cell and the next cell. So this is where they meet. This is the line. If I come here for D, column D and column E, this is where they meet. So if I want to increase the width of the column, I have to position the cursor here and you turn into what we call a crosshair. If it happens like that, you hold the left mouse button so you can see from my screen that width has been indicated. So you drag. So you see, I have increased the column width. You can do same to reduce the column width. You see, I have reduced it. Now, for the row, where I said it's labeled using numbers, you can equally do that. You position it in between the third rows, you hold the left mouse button. You see, for row, we increase or decrease the height. So that is what you see on my screen. Now see, good. I've been able to increase the height of my row. Now let me undo. Good. So this is a column, this is a row. Where the column and the row meet, you see, this is column A, row 1. This is where they meet. So we call it a cell. So where a column and a row meet, we call it a cell. And how do we name cells? We name cells with the column name first, then we add the row name. So remember I made mention of a name box. A name box. This very box, remember I said it's called a name box. So the name of the cell is always displayed in the name box. So currently, you see A1 is the active cell, meaning a cell that is ready to accept inputs or has a darker border around it. So the name of the active cell is indicated in the name box. So let me click somewhere here. Now, what do you see from the name box? It is giving us the name of the active cell, which is cell J8. Okay, so that is where we have the active cell now. So in short, that is the active cell being displayed inside the name box. We have three main data types that we can enter. Remember, we said this one is used to analyze numerical data. We have three main data types, meaning the data of every individual or organization. We have three data types that we enter. One, we have the labels, okay? Then we have what we called the values. Then we can make mention of formulae. These are the three main data types that we have. If we pick labels, we mean text. So if, for instance, if I mention, I write something like S name, is a label or a text. I can even add mass. It is a text. I can add ICT. Is a text. Maybe English is a text. Now, when we make mention of values, we mean numbers. Numbers. So for instance, if I type 50, 10, 78, all these are numbers that I'm typing. These are all numbers, okay? They are called values. They are called values. So values, in short, we say they are numbers that we enter. So if we combine these labels with the numbers, we say we have a formula, and we will discuss formula. So let us give some names to whatever I've typed there as labels. Maybe Kojo, I have Ama, I have Kofi, I have Akos. You see, these are the labels, these very ones, and these are the numbers. Look at the alignment. If you look at the labels, they have been aligned right, left. Okay, so this is where Kojo is starting from. But look at the values that are numbers. The alignment is from the right side. So you could see differences between this and that. We'll talk about the formula very soon. There is also something that we can equally mention here called functions. Called functions. What are functions? Functions are stored formulas that we use to perform computations such as adding, generating values for dates and times. All these can be done. So let us look at some common functions that we can use. So let me bold as usual the normal formatting we can do here. So examples of the functions are sum. Sum meaning if you want to look for the total score of something. Then we also have what we call max. If you are looking for the maximum, the highest score, we use a function called max. If you are also looking for the lowest, we have what we call min. This is the function we will use to perform our computation or calculation. We also have what we call average. Average, that is the mean, the number of successes over the total sample space. We have the if, which is a condition statement. Then we have range. Okay, we can use a range of cells. We can make use of counts. We can make use of count F. Count F. These are some of the functions. In fact, we have so many of them. But what we'll be discussing will be centered on few of these. So these are functions. Then we can equally make mention of what we called referencing or cell referencing. Cell referencing. Cell referencing, in short, we are saying that whenever you use your functions, we are able to copy some of them. Sometimes too, you can even make mention of a specific cell, you reference it, and you use it to perform your own computation. So here we can talk of the relative self-referencing, and we have the absolute referencing. Basically, these are the two. So if you want to make a cell relative, we are saying that you are automatically updating a formula when you transfer into another cell. But absolute referencing, the copied formulas always refer to the same cell location. So if you want to make a cell absolute, we add what we call the dollar sign. So assuming cell E5, we want to make it absolute, we'll begin with the dollar sign, then E, then another dollar sign, then we add 5. It means we are making the cell absolute, meaning the content will not be changed. Okay, so that is about relative and absolute referencing. Now, what are some of the uses of spreadsheet softwares? We can use it to make decision, cost estimating, cash overflow, entering of student marks and grades. So we can use this to enter your grades and your marks. We can also use it to prepare your transcripts. We can also use it to prepare payroll slips. Then also check preparation. We have cash flow analysis, and also inventory management. We can even use it to report our finances. So basically, there are so many things that you and I can use Excel or spreadsheet programs to work on. Now look on my screen. You could see that for the tabs, we have two unique tabs here that has been added as compared to Microsoft Word. We have formulas. We are going to make use of the formulas here. Then also make use of the data. We also make use of the data. So take notice of